Hello, we are back for part 3 of the transport series. Try to get a couple more pieces done pretty quick before we can be done with this transport truck. Maybe we'll do a trailer after, we'll see how it goes. Actually, leave a comment if you want a trailer. If you want to see how I would do the trailer to attach to this, then let me know in the comments and maybe I'll do it. I'll definitely do it actually if you guys want me to. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude there. I'd also like to say thank you guys for all the support. It's been really nice getting to show off some of my artistic designs. I may not be the best blenderer, but I think I'm a pretty good artist anyway, so I'm sure you can appreciate that at least. And thank you for the support. So I'm just kind of getting this almost evened up there. And we'll just kind of just start sizing it in slowly. We'll go to edit mode maybe. And I think this is going to lean back a little bit. I could be mistaken. If I am, you do it the way that you think is better. I'm just going to try to kind of make it blend a little better with the back part there. Kind of like this. So it kind of looks like it's a continuation of that. And again, if you have a better idea or if you want to do it slightly different, just pause the video while you do it the way you need to do it. This is what I'm going to do. Might move it up just a hair, like that. Kind of lines up a little better with the whole dash in general, I think. Probably do it a little different if it wasn't for a truck, but since it's for like a transport truck, I think we want to be straight to the point with it. Maybe before we go any farther with this piece, we're just going to make a middle console that's going to have a shifter and such. I just don't know how that's going to fit together, so maybe we just want to make it before we alter the other piece in case we need to change it at all. This is how I would do it too, is if I was making two pieces fit together, I'd make them fit together before I altered them. Just gonna probably have a little bit better luck making them fit perfectly. And you're probably gonna want this to fit almost perfectly, if not perfectly. So let's just go here. We'll go to the sizer bitty guy. Scaler, that's the one. Should have knew that, right? It's fish talk. Maybe we won't go back there. We'll spread it out a little bit. And you're just going to have to fiddle around until you get the right look to what you're trying to go for. It's going to be a little bit hard to see too, which is going to make it even funner. So first off, it can't hit the seats on either side, so we're going to have to put it like that. So use our hand to move around a little bit maybe. And I think that looks pretty good there. But let's take it to edit mode. We can control R. And what are we going to do? I'm going to do these two lines. But I'm going to do them like there. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with this, but we'll figure it out together. Just try to make this dash look a little more normal, I guess. So that looks pretty good. Maybe we'll do these two. What would that look like? Actually, I kind of like that more. What would happen if we stretch this out a little bit more then? Sorry, again, we're just trying to feel it out because we want to get the right look for our truck, but something you got to kind of take your time and figure out. Don't figure it out first because I feel like it's cheating you guys of the experience of me solving it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Let me know in the comments. Okay, I think I'm gonna try is we might have to move this up a little bit just for a second. The reason being is we got to grab all the edges because we're going to move it a little bit. And I can't exactly see it over there, so that should be all of them. We're just going to move it up here. Ish. Okay, let's try that. Then we will grab just this and this. kind of want to do just one more loop cut in it, actually. So let's Control R again. And somewhere around there, I think. May have to mess with it a little bit, but let's try that. Maybe grab these 3 now. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Let's see that. Let's move that into place and see if it's more of what we want. Should be about right. And we can move pieces of it around. We can move this a little bit farther if we want it to be more of a slope there. Kind of line up a little bit better like that. But I think you're getting the idea of how you're going to be doing this interior and making it fit together. Especially if you want these pieces to be able to separate. So, let's see. I don't know if we want them to be rounded, but we can if we want. Just probably grab some of these edges and just round them to make it look a little bit better. It's going to be hard to grab them. So we'll Control to there, and we'll Shift on that one. And we will grab same 3 on this side. And Control B, just give them the slightest lip. We can leave it at that lip, or we can make it a little more. I think I'm going to leave it at that lip. It's simple, but I think it's going to look good, and it does. So, alright, so we've got those 2 pieces. We may want to join them together, but we definitely don't want to yet. So, because we're going to have to make quite a few more pieces on the dash, so let's go ahead and maybe we'll make a steering column, or maybe we should make some. Let's make a steering column to help us understand what we're going to need, where our gauges are going to have to be, otherwise we're going to be hitting each other. So hit S, and we'll shrink this guy down, way down like that. Actually, before we do that, we'll Shift D it, move it up. I'll grab that one, and then we'll stretch that one out like that, and then hit S. Something like that, maybe a little thicker. So here we are. So what we're going to have to do is make a steering wheel to go on top of that. There's many different ways we can do this. I'm going to do it with making a spare part and setting it on the side, for we always have an extra piece to grab from. Start off, we'll go to Edit, we'll go to Faces, grab that face, and we'll Control B. I'll just bevel it a little bit, like that. Maybe you want a bigger, thicker column. You can do this. And then S it down maybe a little bit, something like that. So you can put your key on the side of that if you want, up to you. And then we can work on trying to figure out how we're going to do a steering wheel after that. And again, I don't plan this out, so that's why I don't have a game plan. And every time I try to do things a little bit different, for it's special. Alright, grab both those sides, Control B maybe. Let's just try to bevel that a little bit. That does not look good. Y doesn't look good though. That's interesting. How to do this now? Let's not do it that way. That's not going to work out very well. We need to punch the shape out with a different shape to give us some nice edges on the inside. It's going to probably be the best way. Maybe I made this really thick and then beveled it. It might work a bit better. Yeah, it does actually. And maybe if we added some of these, that would be a little nicer. It's a lot nicer actually. Something like that. That works pretty good. Shift D that. We'll S that. to around the size of what we want our wheel to be. And when we poke this through like that, we should be able to see what's going to be left a little bit better. Keeping in mind your gauges and things like that are going to be behind that, so you're going to want it to be reasonably thin, but not too thin. You're going to have to use your imagination and creativity to pick the right size. You know what the deal is. So we'll do that. Object, bool, difference. So we got a nice shape left over. Might go a little bit that way with it. Looks pretty good though to me. It's a little complicated, but that's fine. We will Shift A, make a cube, pull our cube up and over, and we're just going to manipulate the shape of it for we can use it as like a spoke in our steering wheel type thing. Something like this. A little too long, obviously. So let's move this down a little bit for we can kind of see more what we're dealing with. Something like this, maybe a little higher, and then we can angle them a bit. Something like that. So we need this to be about half of that. Something like this. And it's pretty easy, you just kind of got to shape each piece as you go. It's going to take some time, especially if you have a specific look in your head you're going to be going for. So once you think you got it, I would go to edges, and we're just going to grab 1, 2, 3, and I'm hitting Shift left click to grab the extra ones. 4, Control B, just like that, something like that. Okay, just a little smoother. And one more thing we could do. Yeah, is I think it gets a little thinner at the one side than the other, so go to faces, go like this, and just smush this like that, just to give it a better look, more class in our steering wheel. Now we're gonna have to shrink just a hair, but let's figure out the middle a bit more. Something like that. Maybe we'll hit S and shrink it down. And you can shrink it the other way if you'd rather. And then we're gonna go, what, 15? Something like that. And let's see, it's a little high, so I'll move it down a little bit like that. And it's pretty hidden. As you can see, it's pretty hidden in the steering wheel, but there's just a hair poking through. Something like that. If you like the look, you can move your steering wheel down if you don't, until you are happy with it. And then we'll grab this piece and we'll Shift D it, and we should be able to take the minus out of it, I think. Oh no, what did I just do with that piece? Oh. Just put the minus back in that. And I guess it'd be, we'll put a minus here. Has to be here. Oh boy. I don't know where that's happening. Let's see. I'll just do, oops. Do that, and we'll Shift D it. And then, oh, I see. We're not in the middle of the axis anymore, are we? I see. So we're just going to have to hand bomb this one. Oh, you know what? It's not going to be there anyways. It's going to be over here. So I just straightened it out to be able to move it around a little bit better. And we'll just figure out this angle. I think it's 90. Nope. So it's the last one, obviously. And that looks right to me, so we'll move it into place where we're happy with it. Be a little hard to get into place because we could hardly see it, obviously. Something like this. And then we're going to do that 15 again. Okay. This time I think we can use that trick that we were trying to use. And just add a minus over here, possibly. No, didn't work either. Where did it go? Oh, that's the wrong one. My bad. Was it the second one? Always get these all confused. Oh god. It's not that one either. And this one not gonna work? Yeah, it did work. I'm so sorry, guys. There's some bad dyslexia going on here. I think we'll leave that and we'll do this. Minus 90 here. And that should be exactly in place. Now, I think I got this one backwards now and I'm thinking of it too. I think it needs to be the opposite, like this. So I think I need to do, I think it's this one. We'll do it in 180. Yes. And then we'll put it on a 15 like the other one. Yes. Okay, and that should be our steering wheel settled out anyways. It's a little rough getting there, but we got there. Let's join some of these pieces. If you need this to be able to move, you may not want to join these. Maybe you just want to join these. So I grab the first one, shift left click, shift left click, shift left click, shift left click. Grabbing the steering wheel last because it's going to be our movement point. So that way if it moves, it twists in a circle instead of twisting on a weird axis. Now we don't have to attach these two, but we could. But we could just drag them into place too if you don't want to attach them. We're going to have to figure out an angle that they stick out either under the dash or that we have a hole through the dash that they come through. I think we'll just see what we got if we put it on an angle here. So that's a 65. Let's try to follow it with this one. And then we will just kind of figure out the placement a bit. Something like this. We may have to come up with this dash or shrink it down a little bit, or put a hole in it that the steering column comes through. We can also do one of these basically. The steering wheel will definitely not be that high, so maybe about here. We could shift D it and bool a hole through it, or we could just leave it if it doesn't really matter. And maybe a bit more of an angle up and down maybe. I'm not really sure, but that looks pretty good. We could try 70. No, that's wrong. 60. 60 looks a little better actually. Let's try 60 on this one. You're gonna have to center it after, obviously, and find your right point. Is it up higher? Is it down lower? Kind of feel like it's still on the wrong angle. That's 50 there. Let's try that. Actually looks a bit better again. So anyways, you'll figure it out. You're probably gonna have to mess around a bit to figure out the exact angle. We can move it up, down, whatever you need to do. Maybe like that. Maybe the seats are too high. Just to remember, if you do adjust them, to adjust them together like that. That way you can move them together and they're exact same height. Yeah, that actually looks a bit better. That looks more reasonable. We don't get to see it at the front as much, but I think that's pretty good. So we've made a console, we've made a steering wheel. Maybe we'll end it there for we don't drag on too long and I don't bore you guys, because the videos go too long, you guys get kind of bored. So maybe that'll be good for now, and we'll come back and we'll keep on adding some more detail. We'll do gear shifter, dashboard, we'll do more of the controls. Maybe we'll put blinker signals, hazard lights. If you got any suggestions or anything you think I'm going to miss and you want me to put it in the comments, and I'll be sure to include it in the next video. Thank you all for watching, and we appreciate it. Thumbs up, subscribe if I didn't say it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.